Hey, this is the video for 3.1, gram formula mass. So go ahead and set up a new entry in your Cornell Notes. Remember to start a new page for this video. Also check out the essential vocabulary. Today we'll be discussing mole and gram formula mass. So we have different ways of measuring items in bulk. We have, like, for example, a 6-pack of cans. We have a dozen eggs, a dozen donuts. We have a ream of paper. A ream is 500 sheets of paper. These are all ways of measuring large items or many items. But in chemistry, we have to measure atoms and molecules, and they're incredibly small. So we use a number called Avogadro's number, and this number represents a mole, and it is a measurement of 6.02 times 10 to the 23. Who is Avogadro? You don't have to know. You may see his name, but he was an ancient chemist that came up with this number. Okay, that's all you need to know. But a mole is just a way of measuring a lot of atoms, and this is a way of measuring an amount of atoms that we can actually handle. And that's called the gram formula mass. The gram formula mass is the mass in grams of 1 mole of an element or compound. So for the elements on the periodic table, the gram formula mass is the same as the atomic mass. And again, because of the isotopes, this number, it's a decimal, represents all of the naturally occurring isotopes. Okay, so in carbon, most of them are carbon-12, but if I have a mole of carbon, it will weigh 12.011 grams. Now, if I have an atom of carbon, it will weigh 12 atomic mass units. That's carbon-12 atom. And if I have a carbon-12 mole, it will weigh exactly 12 grams. Now, in order to determine the gram formula mass of a compound, like, for example, aluminum oxide, you'll follow these steps. I strongly encourage you to write these steps down because you will need to do this. So the first thing you will be doing is writing each atomic symbol, aluminum and oxygen. Then, write the quantity of each element. That's indicated by this little subscript. I have 2 aluminums and I have 3 oxygens. Then I will write the atomic mass of each element, and I don't need to write this decimal. I'm just going to use the whole number. So you can use whole numbers for these. It works for everyone except for chlorine. Chlorine is it's like 37.45 or something. So you can round chlorine, but everything else you should just use the whole number. And then finally, I'm going to add up the totals. So I have 54 plus 64, 54 from aluminum, 64 from oxygen. That is 118 grams for 1 mole. That is the gram formula mass of aluminum oxide. Now another one, calcium phosphate. This one looks a little bit trickier because I got these parentheses. But remember from algebra, use the distributive property. So the first thing we want to do again is write down the atomic symbol, calcium, phosphorus, and oxygen. Then we write the quantity of each element. Now I have 3 calciums because this 3 refers to what is in front of it. And I have 2 because of the parentheses. I have 2 PO4s, which means I have 2 Ps and I have 2 O4s, which means 2 phosphorus and 8 oxygens. Then I will write the atomic mass of each element, and calcium is 40 and phosphorus is 31. Oxygen is 16. When I do this math, multiply and add, I get 120 plus 62 plus 128. Add those all up, I have 310 grams. That is the gram formula mass for calcium phosphate. Now we're going to use these to calculate the number of moles, and this is something that's often done. In fact, I do this a lot when I'm making solutions in the lab. So you have this formula on table T of your reference table, that's the back cover, and it's the mole calculations. So in this question, how many grams are found in 3 moles of aluminum oxide? What we always want to do is identify the unknown. The one that is never unknown is the gram formula mass. I just showed you how to calculate that. But the unknown is the number of grams. That is the given mass. So I know this is the unknown because it says how many grams. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in my numbers. I already gave you the gram formula mass in the other slide. So I have 3 moles, that's right up here. This is given to me. that is the number of moles, equals x, or my unknown, over the gram formula mass. When I solve for x, I get 354 grams are in 3 moles. Now likewise, let's try another way. How many moles are found in 59 grams of aluminum oxide? So now, again, the gram formula mass is never my unknown, but I want to figure out what is my unknown. It is the number of moles because it says how many moles. So I'm going to plug in my numbers. I'm going to solve for x, and I get 0.5 moles. And this is the symbol. You don't ever write M, that means meter. The symbol for mole is MOL. What I would like you to do is respond to this check for understanding so I can gauge your understanding of this topic. I hope that this video was informative. I thank you for your attention, and I will see you soon.